The new Mega Evolution expansion gives us more than a fistful of fighting support cards. Fighting Gong is a great search card that can grab either basic Pokemon or energy. The Premium Power Pro is a disgusting damage mod, buffing our damage output by 30, which is of course a stackable item. We also gain a pair of fantastic new basic Pokemon which combine as a draw engine with Lunatone and Zoroark. Lunatone's Lunar Cycle ability allows us to discard a basic fighting energy from hand in order to draw 3 cards, plus 1 card on the old Radiant Greninja, which was a backbone of all sorts of archetypes for consistency. However, it does require a Zoroark on the bench. Fortunately, this is also a really handy early game attacker, allowing fighting decks to very efficiently begin a prize race. Unsurprisingly, the poster boy Mega Lucario has come out the gate strong early on in the City Leagues, and almost all of the lists have had an out-the-box approach, simply throwing in all of these great new supporting cards and engine Pokemon, in addition to a Stage 1 Hariyama. This evolution has a gusting ability when it comes into play, and a wild press attack for 3 fighting energy, which deals a solid 210 damage. That too can gain the benefit from Premium Power Pro, allowing this single prize Pokemon to easily uptrade into a number of basic EXs. On paper, this is an expensive attack cost, but thanks to Mega Lucario EX's Aura Jab attack, which for 1 fighting energy allows us to attach up to 3 basic fighting from your discard pile to your benched Pokemon in any way that you like, whilst also dishing out a solid 130 damage, we can get this Hariyama ramped up in pretty much every situation. This build aims to mitigate the 3-prize nature of Mega Lucario by foregoing the use of 2-prize engine Pokemon, and takes full advantage of Lucario's energy acceleration, whilst having a solid draw engine, early game, and can draw enough cards throughout the mid game to conjure up 1-hit KO turns by accumulating Premium Power Pros and using Mega Lucario EX's second attack, Mega Brave, with a very solid baseline at 270 for just 2 fighting. It's a very efficient choice that gets devastating with the Premium Power Pro, and many Japanese lists also look to use Maximum Belt as their A-spec, further pushing this Pokemon's damage output. There's no doubt that this is a synergistic and pretty reliable way to make use of the new Mega Lucario, but there is one glaring issue, and unfortunately it just so happens to be the most successful deck since the Scarlet and Violet rotation. In fact, in the TPCI regions, Gardevoir has won every cash major event since rotation, except for one, just the Milwaukee Regionals back in May, so many months of domination for this top tier Stage 2. So ultimately, even though this looks like a great new strategy out of the box, we here at Omnipoke have been optimizing a different approach of Lucario with Zoroark. Zoroark EX provides an alternate draw engine whilst covering our crucial psychic weakness, aiming to flip the matchup on its head with our own use of Munkidori and of course the dark typing of Zoroark to knock out Gardevoir EX cleanly. The role of Lucario EX actually changes quite dramatically in this build. It's not necessarily this easy go-to, turn 2 attack and set up other benched Pokemon. Instead, we're a bit more of a set-up Zoroark deck with a combination of fighting and darkness energy, more so using Lucario as this big beat stick, giving us 1-hit KO potential, possibly just once or twice throughout the game when we need it. As soon as you add Darkness Energy to any list, the first thing you have to think about weaving in is the Monkey Menace himself, Munkidori, acting as another onboard damage option, in addition to some healing. We know that Zoroark as a quad-style deck has had a lot of success as of late, especially at the World Championships, where it featured a couple of top 8 placements. So it's not too much to try and adapt these engines to spawn a new archetype, making full use of our new Mega Evolution. Lucario can help mend some of Zoroark's traditionally poor matchups, like Charizard EX and Joltik builds, whilst Zoroark can support the draw required in a deck like this, helping us grab a combination of Premium Power Pro, but also provides a means of energy acceleration via the N's PP Up and E-Switch combination for us to forego Aura Jab altogether and go instantly into massive Mega Brave attacks. N's PP Up and double E-Switch was already one of the baselines of Mateusz's lists at Worlds with his Quad Zoro approach, and I also really like pinching his Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon edition to help out against the Golden Go matchup. We know that Zoroark, plus using the likes of Turo, Munkidori, and threatening either weakness or powerful rage into a number of the Stage 2 matchups is already really useful. So it's really nice to give this deck an additional dimension of 1-hit KO that is seriously lacking in the straightforward builds of Zoroark as of right now. I think this two don't have inherent synergy like we see from the straightforward builds in Japan, but there are enough complementary traits around the two cards that really serve different purposes that I do think they could create a brand new archetype that has a cover for a lot of matchups. Very quickly, in terms of list specifics, like I've already said, we're copying a lot from Matej's build at the World Championships, going with the secret box, as well as that heavy Arven package, giving us the option for Turbo Energize in addition to TM Evolution, the easiest way to get our Zoroarks into play. We have a couple fighting Gong in addition to our Buddy Poffin, which hopefully gives us earlier access to fighting energy, which we love throwing into the discard pile with trade, to open the door for PP up E-switch plays later on in the game. Now, of course, this is just our first draft, and I do think there are upgrades that we can make after playing a few additional games with the deck, so stick around for our more updated list at the end of our battle video. For now, let's get into some games. Right, getting into this first game then, I'm going to be playing the Mega Lucario Zoro build on the left. Jack is on Dragapult Dustoir to kick things off on the right. Always the litmus test of the format by the looks of things. If you can challenge this archetype, you at least are in solid standing for being able to take on, complex ball positions, have one hit KO at your disposal, have bounce back to hand disruption, that sort of thing. So it's always one of the first challenges. Should be an interesting matchup as well. Obviously the Curse Blast can help Jack get through the Zoro section of the deck, but 340 hit points is a lot to get through from the Mega Lucario side, and there might be situations where Lucario can just sort of pound through a board from Jack. Looks like he's debating the Neo Upper Energy turn 1. Just going to hold it instead and pass things over. I have the Arven, which gets me Secret Box, which is really the thing trying to unlock this archetype in the first place. Arven for Secret Box Air Balloon, and then we're going to box away Reshiram, Lucario, and Riolu. And we're going to grab TM Evo, Poffin, Iono, and Artazon. That gets me into double Zorua. I can even Artazon out a third Zorua. I can Air Balloon, attach a Darkness to End's Riolu, so I can get the right energy on the right Pokemon and threaten a turn 2 attack with End's Zoroark. If I can find my third copy and evolve into the active and attach a Darkness energy. Asking for a lot, but with trade it's always possible. I suppose I would also need to have a Reshiram coming out, but yeah, it means that I've at least got Darkness energy on the right Pokemon rather than Riolu, which wouldn't be that useful. Jack has the Hilda here. Is going to grab his first Cloak as well as a Psychic Energy. Has already artisaned out a Budew, so might even be retreating this Duskull. We see a Recon Directive from Jack. Suppose Budew being able to do 20 into my Enzarua. There is some world where there's Curse Blast plus Itchy Pollen KO. Jack's going to Ultra Ball away the Jamming Tower and a Blood Moon Ursaluna EX. And naturally going to grab another Cloak. I think Jack probably wants to keep his Dusk around to become Dustoir, because it's so much easier to get over the End Zoroark with your Stage 2 rather than the Stage 1 helping out. So he probably doesn't want to have the tempo Dusclops play. So yeah, it will be Attach Retreat. Will be another Skull coming down, which makes a lot of sense. And just a prod with Itchy Pollen. I'm able to Artisan out Munkidori. So now I'm threatening the Darkness attachment on Monkey to actually scratch KO. I'm going to play an Iono as well here. And I can begin trading. Going to get rid of the Arven. And we're going to sack another Arven. Looks like a huge chunk of item cards in the hand here. I can Adrenaline Brain and take the KO. Or I have the Turbo Energize line. And Turbo Energize definitely tempting. I'm just going to shove 2 fighting onto Riolu and keep the damage on the Zorua. In case Jack doesn't get aggressive this turn, I can... Oh, I am actually going to throw it over after some debate of like, sure, Jack could get his own Munkidori out and throw it back at me somewhere. I guess that's the only debate, right? If Jack could Munkidori, but because he has no energy in play, he still couldn't Phantom Dive KO the Riolu. So I think it's fine this way. Jack's going to begin using his Recon. He does get the Munkidori out for free from Artazon by the looks of things. Looks like he's got a Clops as well. Another Hilda coming in. So that's access to the Neo Upper that I just shuffled to the bottom, as well as a Dragapult. So he can begin to launch some Phantom Dive. If he has access to Dusclops, he could be taking out the Riolu. If he has Hawlucha as well, all sorts could be happening. Have another Recon Directive. Could also try and take out the Munkidori straight away. Oh yeah, it's going to be 5 onto the Munkidori. Then the counter catch of Riolu, so he gets the best of both worlds here. Takes a 2-prize KO. With also another Dusclops being evolved. That's a really good turn from Jack. He's able to take the first 2 on his side. Item lock finally unlocked, so I can straight away use Super Rod. I'm going to get some Riolu and Munkidori back out. I'm going to get Riolu straight into play with the Artazon. Being behind on prize cards, trying to use a counter catcher on his Dusclops is probably a good deal for me here. Have an Ends PP up for a Darkness Energy on my Zoroark. Have the Reshiram coming down naturally as well. I'm attached retreating the Ends Zorua and then using the E-switch to get my Ends Zoroark into the active. So the attack is unlocked, but am I having to punch into this Dragapult, or will I be able to trade my way to counter catcher? Let's have a look. There was definitely a world where I traded first to try and find boss there. But the Iono is still reasonable after Jack's just taken 2 prize cards. Also just trying to protect one of these Riolu seems reasonable. I'm going to Power Pad back in Iono and boss. Have some gongs that I could be playing as well. Looks like we're thinking twice about the Power Pad. We're just going to hold it for now. And we're going to swing for 170, which never feels good. Like, I would have loved to have gone back to level prizes by taking out his Dusclops there and causing a huge headache for Jack. Forcing him to boss around me for a turn. Now he's able to weave in the Luminous for Munkidori. Or thinking twice about it, though. Might need this attachment to be helping him chain Phantom Dives instead. So it's going to be a Fire Energy on the... Nope, also thinking twice about that. Are there any energy in the discard pile for him to use from Stretcher for later? Let's see. Oh, he's going to Luminous the Munkidori. And he's going to Lillie for 6. Before using any of his Recon. Again, strong plays for Jack here. If you can find his Dust Noir, would be huge. To just go down to 2 prize cards and also set up some other Pokemon with Phantom Dive. Munkidori already on the board means he can go to 1 prize this turn pretty happily and then just look for a Blood Moon late game. We're going to see Ultra Ball getting rid of Hawlucha and Buddy Poffin. And he is able to access Dust Noir. So you have to think he's going to be blasting into the active hit. There it is. I go to 4. Jack's going to Monkey to take out a... Well, Zorua's draw power. And I have 2 Riolu anyway, right? So he probably should target the Zorua. He's able to Night Stretcher as well here. And preload Blood Moon. And then he's able to take the knock and throw 2 counters onto the Zoroark as well. And this is where we have to try and mount a comeback. We don't have much draw. We just have this 1 Zoroark right now. We do have Munkidori coming out from the Artazon. We know that can help take out the Budu at some point. 6, 12, 13, 14. I'm also going to start playing some gongs here as well. Just thinning the Cornerstone as well as a Fighting Energy. And let's trade away a Turo. I do have a stalling boss, by the looks of things, onto the Blood Moon. What else have I got here? Fighting Energy to Riolu. Air Balloon to the active. And is this just a pass? Yeah, it looks like all I can do here is pass. So Jack putting down the Blood Moon obviously gave him good outs to just win on the next turn if I was able to knock out the Dragapult. He's made me go through this weird line this turn. But now he has this strange situation of moving his Blood Moon somehow. Is that a boss pickup from him? Fire to Blood Moon. Munkidori. It's going to go on to Reshiram. And just the pass. I'm going to start with trade, getting rid of that Cornerstone. Probably should have got rid of that last turn, honestly. There's our Mega Lucario. Obviously, we can hit the Blood Moon for weakness here. I'm going to Turo pick up the Riolu so Jack doesn't have the easy Munkidori plus Phantom Dive KO. But I'm debating... Well, we're going to Darkness Energy to the Zoroark from the PP up. We're just going to take the knockouts on the Blood Moon. So really all we can do is force the boss out of Jack here. But he, of course, has it. So we got a little bit carried away there. We couldn't really weave in Hand Disruption. Maybe there's a world where I just pass into Jack and wait until I can Iono him to 1 rather than taking out the Blood Moon. It would have given him more Munkidori to play with, but really not much else. So perhaps I got too frisky attacking with the Lucario and could have just waited an extra turn to Iono and then be much more likely to win, as I was always 2 attacks away there no matter what I did. We're going to try the same matchup again. I have a Munkidori start by the looks of things. Jack has a Duskull, and I'm forcing him to go first. He has a good old buddy. So, same as last time, just going to go double Dreep, you would imagine. Oh, Dreep, Duskull, that means he's got 2, right? Yeah. Going a game down against Pult, making them go first and seeing double Poffin really is a sour taste, isn't it? Such a dangerous deck when it gets on all cylinders. You can see from the shuffle that the Neo Energy definitely isn't prized either. Jack actually has energy to attach to his Dreepy, and is going to pass over to me. Was that a Poffin off the top? I think that's pretty good news, ultimately. We're going to go Zorua and Riolu. And I'm pretty sure I would naturally have the Evo in hand. I can Dark to Munkidori and just go double Zoroark again and establish that engine. This deck is all about trying to use that TM evolution, honestly. We really don't play much ball search. I think that's something we have to change about the list. But the Evo, in theory, means that you see enough cards of trade throughout the game that you can still piece things together. Jack's able to evolve into a Cloak, Recon, and then Hilda to do more of the same. Will he once again be able to go Budju here? Let's find out. Another Recon first. He does have a Dusclops. He's going to spread his attachments and pass things over. We're going to begin to trade. And trade away a Mega here as well, because we have the other in hand. We're going to play an Arven, grabbing Air Balloon. And is Secret Box available? Perhaps not. We're going to go... Oh, Secret Box is there, but I guess our hand size is not really cooperating, or I think I can just trade my way out. We're going to grab Premium Power Pro to the hand. We're going to attach to Mega Lucario, also balloon up the monkey, and we are able to take the first knockout, taking out a Clops as well, which is really handy. It means we're much less likely to be staring down a Dusknoir next turn. Jack's going to begin reconning. This Lucario is also in really good shape to Turo next turn as well. So I'm hoping basically with the 340 hit points, I can take the 1 and it's essentially free for me at some point. He's actually going to put the Fezandipiti down as well. That opens up Boss to be a great turn for me as well next turn. Jack is going to evolve into a Dusclops. Does have Luminous Dragapult. And is going to boss up the Munkidori. So not wanting to fall prey to the Turo, which makes a lot of sense. He's then able to find another cloak from his Ultra Ball. The time for Budu has passed. He's already Phantom Diving at this point. Is that a Night Stretcher that he's debating in the hand right now? Definitely is interesting. He's also got a debate where the best Phantom Dive damage is. Maybe across multiple Zoroark. One counter on Lucario sets up Dusknoir plus Phantom Dive next turn. So even one damage on this Pokemon's important. I think we're going to have to chat now about where the damage is best. Yeah, so 4 onto one Zoroark, 1 onto the other. And then 1 on that Lucario to set up the threat of Dusknoir plus Phantom Dive. I already prepped some premium power on the previous turn, so we're going to throw 2 of them down before an Iono here. And once again, we're going to be trading. Going to get rid of a Lucario. And we're going to trade again. Looks like I'm already holding on to a Fighting Energy. We're going to get rid of a Darkness Energy here. So I can Mega Brave this turn with my turn attachment. There's a quick Artazon coming in as well. There's reason to like an extra Riolu here, because if Jack has to pop a Dusknoir next turn to KO my active with a Phantom Dive, I could then win with Mega plus attachment plus Boss the Fez for my final 2. So that's somewhat coming into the thinking, searching at the Riolu here. There's my second attachment, so I can Mega Brave. What else can we stitch together here? I'm holding on to the secret box by the looks of things. So we can take our 2. Going down to 3 prize cards. Slightly ahead of Jack right now. But Jack's still able to threaten a lot here. He has a lot of draw as well. Can begin with Fezandipiti. Looks like he's going to ball out something before the Recon's hit. No, it is going to be Recon first. And Recon 2. There's Iono. Is that important to him? Well, it's going to be kept, so possibly. Ultra Ball still in that hand. And nothing changes. He's going to get rid of the Counter Catcher and Budu. Going to be for Dragapult EX. Now, is Dusknoir even in the deck here? You have to think that's an important piece for him this turn. There's the Luminous. There's the Artazon coming out. He's going to grab Munkidori. He's got Lati in hand. He's got Counter Catch in hand. He's trying to figure out a way. As he's going to quickly shuffle up. I'm at this point anticipating the Iono, of course. You can see I'm holding on to Turo and Secret Box, so I'd love him to not have access to Dusknoir here. If he doesn't, I can punish in so many ways with Turo. Just going to grab a Hawlucha. This is an important piece. It can keep his Dusclops open while still taking out Riolu and going to even prizes. He's going to go to 5 on the Zoroark. And then there's the Iono. Don't forget, of course, that I can't attack next turn with the Lucario. The Jamming Tower is actually pretty nice as well, because it means that I can't just Air Balloon out and retain my energy. I'm going to draw for the turn and begin trading. Going to get rid of that Cornerstone again. And we're going to get rid of that Turbo Energize. Yep, don't need that. Alright, there's the Reshiram, so I might be launching an attack with Zoroark here. I'm going to Iono Jack for what it's worth. Also means I get to see 3 more cards. So we're going to be paying retreat on our Lucario, going into the Zoroark. And it doesn't look like I have much else going on, so I think I once again just have to punch this Dragapult. Now, we have Iono Jack down to a low hand size, but it's really not much for him to win from this position, even without that Dustoir, to be honest, because he has Counter Catcher available to him. So all it would require is Dusclops to Curse Blast onto the Munkidori, then Counter Catch back up the Mega Lucario for the Phantom Dive KO, because we weren't able to clear away this Dragapult, of course. And yeah, he's got it. So that is another win for DragaDusk. Again, feels like I missed a couple of pieces along the way, but this is still a tricky matchup. Let's have a fighting on fighting bout then. I'm going to start off with the Zorua. Jack has the Cynthia's Gibble. I'm going to Artazon. And I probably need to grab another Zorua here by the looks of things. Get my engine established. That's always where the deck starts. It's very much unlocking the Lucario side of things, so we just have to pass that. Looks like I'm holding on to some solid supporters for the future turns. Jack has Buddy Buddy. And he's gonna look to Secret Box as well by the looks of things from what he is shifting around in his deck. Both of these archetypes love working towards the TME vote. Jack's going to get the free Gibble after the Poffin, then he's going to Arven do the box thing. Oh, it's going to be Gong actually. He's just going to go this way around, keep the box open. Gong plus Evo, straight into double Bites. Pretty good opener. We have a few options here. I'm going to start off with the free Artazon. I've already got the Zoroark in hand, and looks like I'm now staring up my box. We're also going to go Gong Evo. Nope, we're going to swap it out for a box. Nope, we're going to swap it out for a Gong. Let's Gong for a Fighting Energy. Let's throw away Lucario. There's TM and fighting having to go onto the Zoroark. One of the issues of playing the two different types of energy and only Gong in the list, not Vessel. Sometimes you have to waste an attachment essentially on Zoroark. Of course, we do have E-Switch in the deck, so it's not ever truly a wasted energy. Jack's able to Lillie for a fresh 8 here after attaching to his Gabite. Now, Garchomp definitely a terrifying prospect in that it does have reach even into my Lucario because of his own power pros. Jack has another Gabite, can get searching now after the Lillie. Is going to go Zelia Roserade plus Gabite. There's Roselia. There's the Watchtower for what it's worth, just bumping my Artazon because I have a limited bench right now. And just a 40 prod with his Gabite. Okay. Can I get too creative here with much? No, looks like I'm just Arvening here. Air Balloon and E-Switch. I'm going to trade away Munkidori. I'm going to once again bump the Watchtower and grab a free Riolu hit. And I have another trade available to me. What's going to be? Going to be the Turo going. I'm able to E-switch to Lucario. I'm also able to Air Balloon. I'm also able to attach to Zoroark. Now, this is quite scary. It looks like we're going in. Going to put down the Fez as well and just knock out the goodbye. I think my logic here is just to try and make it so Jack, even if he is taking knockouts, he has to lose all of his energy in the process. And, like, I can still catch up after I've done that play, you know? And almost goading him into saying, sure, do your big Garchomp KO, lose all your energy. I can try and hand disrupt. I have trade Fez on the board. Maybe I can go PP up E-switch my next Lucario and, like, response KO plus hand disrupt. That's kind of the idea I've got here. Because there's one vulnerability of Chomp and that it has no draw engine outside of Fezandipiti, right? And its own attack. And when it's using its single energy attack, it's really not that impressive. Like, the only good turn Jack would have would be to gust up Fez and KO it. With one energy. And that would be after going to 3 prize cards. He'd have to have a really specific combination to make that happen. So even though I'm looking vulnerable, and this isn't like a great exchange as Jack progresses through the turn, I do think this... well, first of all, there's the Premium Power Pro. I do think the Power Weight is going to make things more difficult. Now it's a monstrous Pokemon. Also thinking about Spiritomb, but there is the Artazon in play, so he's just going to hold it. I think my plan was pretty decent until I saw the Power Weight come down. Now it's looking a lot more grim. I'm going to Artazon out a Reshiram. So what's the next best thing then? Is it taking out Roserades at this point and trying to stay out of range with my next Lucario? I'm going to Ultra Ball here, getting rid of Iono and Arven. And then we're going to play the Iono. We have flipped the script in a bunch of trades now, so we're going to see a ton of cards. Quickly going to get rid of Turbo Energize. I should have flipped first, but here we are. I'm starting to get some E-switch PP up combos as well in the hand by the looks of things. PP up E-switch now happening. Quick Poffin to get another Zorua down. We've already Darkness attached to Zoroark, right? So let's trade a Fighting Away. We do have a counter catcher, so possibly just taking out a Roserade would be reasonable here. Punching into the Garchomp is also reasonable, though. Yeah, we're going to get a bit of dice out. Try and set up this Garchomp for 2 shots. Puts Jack again in this weird spot of, like, having to attack with the benched one now, and that can be an easier KO for me. He kind of has to find another Power Weight for the benched one to then sort of stay out of range. Otherwise, again, I'm going to keep hunting these attachments. Jack only sat with a 4-card hand right now. Does have an Arven, though. An Arven is Secret Box. That would give him plays possibly for next turn. At the very least, he could get a Power Weight right now, though. Power Weight Gong is already like a good turn. There is the Gong. There's the Vitality Forest to at least bounce my Artazon. And what supporters does he want from there? A Lillie, perhaps? He's going to play the Gong for a fighting. It looks like possibly prize the other Power Weight, which is pretty good for me. Might mean that I'm able to knock out a Garchomp cleanly, even if he retreats and goes into the other one. There is the Spiritomb. Oh, he already had the Power Weight in hand. There is the Spiritomb coming down, though, and he's going to swing with Garchomp and draw his way up to 6, forcing me to Iono again, essentially, next turn. But this does give me, again, a couple good turns. If I can protect this Zoroark and knock out with Lucario, that would be the best-case scenario for me, where I can Iono him down again, taking all the damage off this Garchomp, and again forcing him in this weird spot to Gust. Alternatively, I could have used Powerful Rage on the benched Garchomp, but I think Iono is definitely the best play here. We're going to trade away a Darkness Energy. We're going to trade away a Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon. We have our third Zoroark. We can trade away a Poffin now. Definitely missed out on something. Did I miss the balloon here? Did I miss Fighting Energy, perhaps? We do have a Power Pad. We can reload some Iono. Pretty obvious what my objective is here now. I'm able to box... Oh, the balloon's in hand, so that's not the missing piece. Is it the gong? Is it the... No, gongs? Is that also in the hand? Balloon's going to go. We're going to grab Iono PP up as our couple of cards. Nope, we're going to grab a Power Pro here. Was it just a basic fighting that I missed out on? And now I have to accept that I'm just going with my active for the KO? Yeah, we're just going to Powerful Rage, KO. Jack, no guarantee of an attachment here, because again, at a low hand size. But it looks like he's already got one in hand. That will take him down to just one prize card. And the Garchomp would be very difficult to get over. There's the Toad School. Is it possible for me to take a knockout? It probably is, right? With PP up E-Switch, I could get Munkidori and use all of my tablets. As Jack is going to go down to one prize card and get his hand topped up as well. We're going to rod back Munkidori, Fighting, and Dark. We're going to grab Munkidori. And actually, we should be able to access a lot of the deck here. I do have Iono to 1. So now I'm looking for all my premium powers. E-Switch, PP up, Fighting Energy. Right? Still a lot, though. And that would only get me down to one prize. But if I take out this Garchomp, I do just, like, win on the spot, right? There's trade. There's trade. PP up's in the hand. Fighting's in the hand. Am I just missing a piece? Fighting to Munkidori. Looks like I'm just shy. I have some premium power. Is it 2 premium power? I can Munkidori the active. Counter catch trap for a turn, perhaps? Or just punch? Oh, this feels rough. I mean, it's my highest hit point Pokemon. Jack at 2-card hand, don't forget, because I did Iono. He is able to Iono me back. Just sees the 1, but will once again be drawing up cards. Now then, let's trade. And trade again. I'm going to get rid of a boss. I have a Fighting Energy for Mega Brave. I'm going to Munkidori heal. I mean, there's a 60 hit point Toad Scroll that seems pretty appealing. Or I can just evaporate it off the board. Knowing that I can knock out basically anything next turn with a Gust. I'm holding on to a ton of premium powers as well. We're just going to throw them out to protect ourselves against hand disruption. We'll take the 2. Jack has Fighting for Gabite, has Boss, has Premium Power, and that's actually enough to KO. With double Roserade Premium Power, the Gabite is able to take out my Fezandipiti for the game. An unlikely win, but a win nonetheless. Possibly a couple bad beats there, where I definitely had avenues to win on a few of those occasions, but couldn't quite capitalize on the best turn possible every single time. I feel like there is something to be done with this list, certainly. So let's talk about some changes that I might make, and overall my thoughts on this archetype that, admittedly, we didn't face into. The likes of Gardevoir, we know that one would be pretty good. Into some of the basic decks, we know we're pretty solid there as well. So we naturally took on some more tricky matchups, so don't let that take away from the archetype's theory. But let's talk on how we can improve this list. I do think ultimately there's still something behind this archetype. It just seems to be a bit more streamlining required with the list. So we have come back with a few changes. We have cut the fighting gongs and decided to go to third Poffin and Earthen Vessel. There were some weird situations where we have to attach the wrong coloured energy to our different Pokemon, and yes, with 2 E-Switch you can still try and figure that out, but just generally having access to the Vessel means, again, it's more discard energy for your fighting energy in the first place, but also it can get you multiple of them over a couple turns, and you need that for both Lucario and Zoroark, so that seems pretty useful. And you can see we've also added in a couple of the Lillie's Determination. This support is just so good, especially when you play box, right? You can Arven for box, get your Evo off, and then you have a Lillie for the next turn. It just makes sense to get 8 cards rather than 6 from the Iono, especially because we play a limited amount of Ball Search cards. I have actually upped the Ultra Ball count to 2 as well, and we've also gone to 2 Night Stretcher. So it makes our trades of our Pokemon a little bit less painful because we now have instant access back, whereas previously we had Rod, and sure, we could Artazon these Mons back out, but not the EXs in particular. And then the second Ultra Ball gives you a bit more reliability from your Lillie and Iono just as you draw through the game, and trade, of course, to then just give yourself outs to those stage 1s, which are still that little bit tricky to find. In fact, because of that situation, we've gone to double Evo and currently cut the Turbo Energize, just saying that without trade, this deck really is like kind of awful. I still think ultimately I want to continue working on the deck. Also, we went down to 2-2 Lucario. We cut the baby Lucario because that only is able to be used once a fighting Pokemon is KO'd as a revenge attacker, so that's even more niche. I think that's really just a card for the straight build of Lucario. It was something we wanted to experiment with, but it never really came up where we could have this nice like KO Fez Gust revenge turn. Didn't really come up, and again, just sort of too niche for a deck like this that doesn't have that much search overall. But I still stand by the Power Pad. I still like the 2 Boss, 2 Turo, in addition to the Iono. Like, this is still well fleshed out and similar to the World's List. There's still a debate of whether there should be a Blood Moon in this 60 as well. And we had to chop down to just 3 Premium Power Pro. Again, I think the main logic here is that, like, you already have Munkidori, which is pseudo helping with damage anyway, and you still have Arven in the deck and trade, so when you need to KO some stage 2s and whatnot, you should still be able to get there. But there was a lot of times where they're just kind of clogged in the hand. I didn't really want to trade them away. Ended up throwing a bunch of them away just, you know, ahead of an Iono, or to over knock out something, this, that, and the other. Maybe it means I don't have to Mega Brave and I can get a more powerful first attack in with Lucario, so then I don't have to retreat him out and do Turo stuff on the following turn. I think there's still some wiggle room to be had, though. Like, I definitely still think a third boss is okay. A second counter catch is pretty okay. Again, just more Ultra Ball, more Stretcher. These are all things that I would welcome in the list. But I think initially we built it a little bit too greedy. Now we've tried to simplify it. And if even this build is still not being able to function the way we would like, I think it's back to the drawing board, back to the sort of straightforward fighting deck. But something about this, I can't quite put my finger on it, but I'm still so intrigued by this combination. It still feels very much like a Zoroark from the old days, where you're combining an overstatted attacker with the good draw engine, and then you have some type coverage stuff going on there. So that's really what's drawing me still towards this deck. But yeah, we weren't able to manage a win. I think in some instances we may have been favoured here or there, but didn't quite work out in these situations. But there we are. A really interesting deck. Let me know what you think. Is it purely going to be a fighting deck and we're gone cuckoo with this build? Have you thought about it with Zoroark? Do you like the combination and the list specifics as well? I'd be happy to get into discussion as well. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for another video. Cheers.